Hi everybody, welcome back Cars and Guitars. We got the 55 Chevy all-in high build polyester primer. Looks really good. I'll sand this down with some 180 and then put some DTM high build primer over this. And then I'm gonna put just a couple coats of paint on here just to seal it up and just mostly to get all the inside the car painted, like the dash neck and all inside the door jambs and stuff. And the owner wants to put the interior in it over the winter. And then I can move on and work on something else because I'll never get the rest of this done. So he wants to make use of this time over the winter to get all the interior in, which will be fine because I can just mask all up the inside and do the rest of the car when he brings it back in the spring. So on these aftermarket parts, I got two new doors that were aftermarket and aftermarket quarters, aftermarket rockers. So none of it lines up properly, as you know. If you've done cars before with a bunch of aftermarket parts, you have to make the panels line up. So on these quarters, it's almost like the floor is too short or not wide enough. So the quarters sort of bulge out here, and they're like I had to push them in too far. So if I had extra on the quarter, it would sit out a bit more better. So they bend in, and the doors, or this one was a bit flat, but they're a bit over bowed sometimes. And so what happens is it sort of caves in where the quarter and the door meet. So it looks like basically it got hit here before, not pulled out. So they both come into a V. So to get rid of that, I have to sometimes cut the quarter, bring it out. In this case, I could hammer the quarter because it was too tight anyway, and it bulges the edge out. So it gets me a bit of extra metal coming out. And the door on the lip, I have to hammer the inside of the lip and bend it out to make it have a nice flow over the whole shape of the car. When you look down the side, it all lines up nicely. It doesn't look like it's caving in. So that's one way of doing it, unless you want to start cutting and re-welding all the panels and stuff, which I'm not going to do, especially on an everyday driver. If this was a, $250,000 build, yeah, maybe, but it's not. So that's some of the things you have to do when you're lining up the panels. Same back here where we had to line up the trunk to the back quarter extensions and stuff here. I had to cut, bang, and hammer on them just to get them to line up properly. You seen earlier in the video, I had to hammer this to get it over it so I can get a gap, same on the other side. And I got all the filler work done inside the trunk here where I put all the patches in. If anyone is doing some filler work, these here are great. They sell these down at the fender factory. Instead of using the old filler applicators, they're hard to get into a contour in here like that. Like, it's very awkward. This here, it goes right inside the contour there, and you can just apply it in like a couple sweeps down in there and saves you a bunch of sanding, and it fits the contour. Same across around here, all around in here, so you could go around nicely with the old squeegees like that. It's hard to get the contour in there. So with these things here, oh my God, it's ever saved a lot of time, a lot of sanding. I recommend that if anyone's doing filler work on a car, just speeds it up. Less sanding. My hands are sore right now. My fingers are killing me from sanding on this thing for a week doing filler work. But we got all the gaps lined up nice, and it's all coming together. Like I said, I'm going to block sand this down, then get it in DTM high build primer, and get this thing rocking so I can get it out of here and get back onto the other cars. We got the 65 Sunbeam Tiger up on the hoist. We're still waiting for some patch panels. That's why I haven't worked on this in a while. You can see the underneath here is pretty rotten. Apparently you can buy some of these reinforcements. So he's ordering those up now. We got the other reinforcements for around the panhard bar here and stuff. Look at the mess there. Somebody's idea of welding there. Nice. And I got the rocker made and all inside on the driver's side on the 50 Merc. And I just got the rocker to put on now on this side. Got the door lined up and all the inner back of the rocker, inner rocker, and all the supports made and welded in place. This door was really tight. It was almost touching on back here on the quarter and had a big wide gap on the front. I don't know what. Well, they were off before somebody welded, grind the edge down and welded back up. It's still split at the bottom there, as you can see. It's split apart. So what I did is took the door off. I took a sledgehammer and I hammered the hinges. You can see the marks there where I was hammering with the sledgehammer. And I moved the that post a bit forward with the hinges and to get my gap here. Now it lines up nice. A nice gap there and a nice gap on the front of the fender. I can move the fender back a bit, a little bit wide, but I can't do too much because I don't want the door to hit when you open the fender. So it has to be up a bit, but I can move it back to get a nicer gap. And like I said, the other side's down, but the other side's a bit tight on the door, so I'm going to hammer those hinges too and get that moving forward. And we got the quarter panel on the Beaumont here. That's on the inner wheelhouse and everything, and even got the front end on. They're just sitting on there now. I got a whole new fastener kit to go on. So get that the inner fenders and the fenders all lined up and stuff so we can start doing the filler work on this. I will have to strip the quarter panels first. That's the original epoxy primer on there. And there's probably going to be rust under them like there always is. So I'll paint strip those down, get them in the booth, and put some SPI epoxy primer on them. And that's progress we're making here on some of the cars. So, oh yeah, guitar sitting I haven't touched in probably a year now. That's another reason why this is going to be my last year doing auto body here. No more restoration work. I might do a few little cars here and there, but that's it for me for restoring cars. This is going to be my last year. So if you have a car that you're supposed to get done here, if I haven't contacted you already, give me a call because I most likely won't be doing it. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching Cars and Guitars. I'm John Bloom.